Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahak, Badash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Salakia for not doing a video yesterday. I was trying to do one, but one of my tooth is bothering me. Of course, I'm using these natural remedies, and it always works, but sometimes it takes time. One thing that's good for tooth pain is clove oil. Any type of toothache you have, you put that clove oil on. So, anyways, this lesson is going to be dealing with the coats of arms and the family crests of Europe, because Vocab Malone recently mentioned how there was a 12 tribe sign that these Edomites had at one point. And I could speculate that the reason they had that is because they understood the history of Europe and a lot of the names. For example, the name Anglo-Saxon means the angelic sons of Isaac. The name British means the covenant man, and so on and so forth. But and I believe Danish goes back to the tribe of Dan, but which means judge. But the fact of the matter is that those were not the original people of those lands. Salakia. The original people of those lands were Israelites, okay, so-called black men. Give me a second. Salakia. And it shows you that when you look at the book Nature Knows No Color Line, you can clearly see that, okay? And this page that inspired me to do this lesson, first and foremost, was this page by this individual, this Israelite, Kurimio Ahau. I don't know if he's Ephraimite, but he's one of the Latin tribes. He brings out a lot of great information, a lot of historical information showing you, a lot of these things that Esau has hidden, that was really Jake, that Esau tries to cover up as his own, as himself, as the scripture says in Job 9:24. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's start off with that. It's Job 9 and verse 24. And it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" And we know that the wicked are the Edomites, right, which the Lord hath given the earth into their hands. And what did he do when he came into power? He covered the faces of the judges. Matter of fact, let's look at this. I want to see what it says in the other versions. Sometimes these other versions go off, but let's see. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, let's see what the NLT says. Like I said, sometimes these versions go off, but sometimes they're on point. It says the whole earth is in the hands of the wicked, which it would be better if it was said what it said in the KJV was given into the hand of the wicked, because that's what happened. The Lord gave it into their hands. It said, and the Most High blinds the eyes of the judges. No. This is see what I'm saying? They go off. All right, so we're going to go back to the KJV. No, the KJV says it the right way. Okay? The earth was given into the hand. Let me read that again. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay? Now let's go to Daniel's 4:17. This is Daniel's 4 and verse 17, and it reads, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men, and the Lord is the one who set up the basis of men, which is you Edomites. Okay, he took the beggar from the dunghill and literally set him up over the nations. Okay, so that's what it means when it says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, from the Heavenly Father. But we see that the things that he has done is cover up the true judges, cover up who the Israelites are, cover up who ruled Europe, who created what inventions. So this man is set up to deceive. That is the part that these Edomites have to play on this earth. See, all these other nations, they have their gifts that was given from the Most High, and that's going to be used to benefit the earth when they're in their proper order under us. Okay, but ultimately these Edomites, their gift was to bring death, to bring violence and destruction and deception. Okay, that was their little gift to the earth, which was a curse. This is Revelations 20 in verse matter of fact, I'll start at verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Now the bottomless pit represents Europe. Okay, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. And we keep telling you that the serpent in the garden was not an actual snake, right? That had legs, and then he was cursed, and then the Lord took his legs, and now that's why snakes slither. No, that's a cunningly devised fable. It's parabolic. It's symbolic. Okay, the serpent is a man with serpent-like cunning characteristics. Okay. Now that man had a spirit, and there was other spirits that were of the same ilk as the serpent, right? For example, when he said that there shall be enmity between thy seed and the woman's seed, meaning what? Cain was part of the seed of the serpent, not physically, because the man who was known as the serpent did not lay with Eve, but spiritually he had the similar spirit. And these Edomites, the spirit of the serpent came into these Edomites. Okay, they're nothing but serpents in flesh. Okay, if you will. Okay, spiritual serpents walking around. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. And even when you read about the red dragon, that represents the Edomite rulership. Starting with what the Roman Empire. Okay, it said, and bound him 1,000 years. And cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Why? Because he was not able to come up into power for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, the Israelites were ruling Europe. This is why you have the names Anglo-Saxon, you have the name Danes, and so on and so forth, man. The Israelites were ruling Europe for 1,000 years. That's why there's Israelite things or symbols and customs that were left behind. When you read about the medieval time with the knights, and they had a certain way, they lived, a certain type of, they lived by a certain code, moral code. Okay? The Edomites didn't live by a moral code. Them Edomites were vile, man. All right? So it said, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Right, which is what? The end of the Renaissance period. And what helped Esau come forward, push himself forward into power, was the pneumonic and bubonic plague, or the black, which is also known as the Black Death, which killed off 2/3 of Jake in Europe. Okay, and that was the Most High who did that, because Esau would never be able to come into power if the Most High didn't do that. Okay, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Okay, and that's what happened. All right, he was loosed that little season, and now he's going around the earth deceiving. All right, setting up his image, setting up a wicked system that's contrary to the Most High. All right, these are the things that he's doing since he came into power. So anyways, I'm gonna let this brother read a bit of this book that he has, and the book is named "Symbols of Our Celto-Saxon Heritage." That's the name of the book, which is actually a very good book, and I'm gonna see how much Esau is trying to sell that for, because certain books that expose him, he marks up the prices crazy. So I'm gonna let him read. So I'm probably gonna skip around because I really want to get to when he gets to the coats of arms, because not the coats of arms, the family crest, because the family crests are very telling that these were Israelites that ruled Europe, but it wasn't the European, so-called Europeans that are ruling now. It wasn't those people now, because those are Edomites predominantly. Okay, you see what I'm saying? But you had Jakes, okay, so-called black men ruling for 1,000 years prior to that. That's why, when you go to the Nature Knows No Color line, the coats of arms, man, the royal coats of arms. Come on, man, those are clearly so-called black people. Anyways, let's play this video.
To the past. Chapter 2. The symbols of our heritage.
No, Salakia.
Did you ever want
this? What's going on with this? Let's do this. Turn up this volume. There we go.
wonder where nations get their emblems and coats of arms? Why the lion and the unicorn hold such a prominent place in British heraldry? And why the lion in the royal arms has a crown and the unicorn has not? Do you know the origin and significance of the Irish harp, the red lion of Scotland, the red hand of Ulster, the arms of the Westminster, and the 12 jewels on the crown of St. Edward? And what of the emblems of the United States?
The 12 jewels. Notice it was 12 jewels, right? That's all spiritual. Okay, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Who first used the eagle, the olive branch, a cloud, and a number of arrows as emblems? And what is the significance of the sun, the moon, and the 13 stars on the Great Seal and on the president's flag? Then there are the ancient emblems of the Netherlands. Why do they also have the lion, in some provinces the unicorn, as well as a ship with a lion at the helm? What is the origin of the man in the heraldry of Greece, Denmark, Iceland, and the Netherlands, and some of the Scottish clans? From whence came the white horse of Lithuania and Westphalia, and the lions of Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Belgium, and Luxembourg? Are you aware that these and many other emblems of Britain, the United States, and other Celto-Saxon nations are identical with the tribal, national, and royal emblems of ancient Israel? Are you? Did you know that? Yet this relationship between the emblems of ancient Israel and those of the Celto-Saxon peoples of today is a fact which is based on irrefutable evidence. It can be denied only by those who refuse to examine the evidence, or who, having examined it, deliberately reject what their own eyes see. All right? This is undisputable, irrefutable. Don't practice cognitive dissonance. There's more than just Bible stories. We're talking about a lineage of people, a chosen people. Why then do we use the emblems and symbols of this ancient and long-lost people? And how did they come to us? Is our use of them just a coincidence? Or do they have a meaning for us in these dark and troubled days? Continuing the book, Symbols of Our Celto-Saxon Heritage by W.H. Bennett. Chapter 3, it says here, the purpose of heraldic emblems. Long ago, someone said that one picture is worth 1,000 words. This statement is undoubtedly true. For an idea expressed in a picture of symbol can be understood in any age, by people of any language, and even by those who cannot read. Further, it will be understood instantly, whereas the hearing or reading of words takes time. Emblems are also used commercially in many other ways. Ships and mercantile establishments display the flags of their owners. Railways and airlines have emblems. Manufacturers have trademarks. Banks and public corporations have crests or coat of arms, and ranchers brand their cattle. Here too, though these emblems do have an advertising value, their primary purpose is identification. This use of emblems and symbols as a means of identification is both ancient and worldwide. From the most ancient times,
because that's where they got Salakia. That's where they got the whole concept of what was that show? It was a great show, man. Or I'd say it's the greatest series ever. Um, Damn, bro. Game of Thrones, right? Notice that all those different families, they had their particular symbols. That goes back to the Israelites. That was one of our customs, right? Your family would have a particular crest or symbol associated to it. You know, your children would dress a certain way. Your women would dress a certain way. That's an ancient custom. Okay, and we're gonna get back to that in the kingdom. You know, so let's continue.
Used by families, clans, tribes.
Just like Salakia, just like you have these different tribes, right? Like the tribe of Gad, they're known for wearing what, those eagle feathers on their head. Okay, and then you have the Peruvians. They have a particular beautiful style of dress, right? But they're all Israelites, but they're from different tribes, so they have their own style. You know, where certain families had their own style. Families had their own uniqueness to them. Okay, and clans and so on.
Cities, nations, and by organizations of various kinds, both national and international. Thus, we have family crests, coats of arms, clan and tribal emblems, national emblems and flags, religious symbols, church emblems between a city gate and Simeon and Levi. All cities and towns had walls in those days, and of necessity this wall would have a fortified gate. Thus, to commemorate the capture of this city, a fortified, turreted, and towered gate became an emblem of Simeon and Levi, and later of Simeon only.
See, this one is of Judah. You see this one? And the emblem that they had was what? A lion that was crouching down, right? Let's get Genesis 49. This is Genesis 49 and verse 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Right, because Judah is the head tribe, right? Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? And this is the image that you see here, right? That they had in one of the crests. Salakia. Man, it's tooth, bro. Put some more of that clove oil. But Khan, so that shows you that these were Israelites, okay? This wasn't by accident. And there's more. There's a lot more. All of the crests had to do with the scriptures. Hold on, let's keep going.
Says here, Judah, right? Now we got the lion, right? 3 lions, secondary emblem. As we read Jacob's blessing of his fourth son Judah, we see that he is given a special blessing in that from among his likened Dan to a lion. As this lion was secondary emblem only and the same as Judah's official emblem, it was never used. Consequently, the serpent and the white horse remain the emblems of the tribe of Dan. Then we got 2 emblems here. It says the tribe of Naphtali and then the tribe of Gad on the right here. Naphtali, the blessing of Naphtali is short and promises him nothing. As recorded in verse 21, it says, Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth godly words. Naphtali is here likened to a freed hind, and so his emblem became a leaping hind. Or is that like a deer? This was Naphtali's official emblem as used in the ancient Israel. However, there are some indications that in the course of time, this female deer was gradually replaced by the male, so that today a stag is the equivalent of Naphtali's emblem, the hind. The blessing of God, as recorded in verse 19, is also very short. It simply says, God, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. This does not promise him very much in material sense, but it does show a definite relationship between him and a troop of horsemen, Then in Deuteronomy 33:20, Moses likens Gad to a lion, as in the case of Dan, and for the same reason, this lion to which Moses likened Gad was never used, leaving him with one usable emblem, a troop of horsemen. However, as a troop of horsemen would be difficult to portray on an ensign, Gad emblem was usually shown as the mounted leader of the troop, holding aloft a pennant. And then we got the tribe of Asher here, as on the left, and the tribe of Issachar. You see that? It says Asher,
Yeah.
though short, the blessing of Asher.
Right, because then it was the tribe of Issachar, the ass, right? And that what you saw there on the right was an ass. Okay, this is Genesis 49:14. It says Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, and he saw that rest was good in the land, that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Right, so you clearly see that that these different emblems are actually tied to the scriptures. Okay, whether everyone that used those emblems originated from those tribes, we know that that there was northern kingdom amongst us. Okay, all the northern kingdom didn't come over to this side of the earth, to the western hemisphere at that time, because the scriptures tell you about some that went back with Judah. Okay, so we know that there was northern kingdom amongst us. Okay, but the majority was what? The southern kingdom. Okay, the majority was the southern kingdom. That's why when you read about the stars, let's get that. Going to Revelation. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, this is it. This is Revelations 8 in verse 12. It says, and the fourth angel no, this is not the one I was looking for. Salakia, wrong one. Bear with me. Yep, this is it. The 12. I had a feeling it was 12 anyway. But yeah, let's go. This is Revelations 12 and verse 1. I'll start at 1. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, which represents wisdom and understanding. Okay, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. The 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's why they spoke about the crown that had the 12 stones in it. Right? That's not by coincidence, man. All right. It says, and she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, in pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. Okay, that represents the beast. All right, the beast system. All right. Right now, today is what? NATO and the EU. All right. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, okay, which represents the 3 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, this is before the NATO and the EU was a thing. Okay, he drew the third parts of the stars of heaven, meaning the 3 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the southern kingdom, and they cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman. Meaning what? He was ruling over them, right? Because Gad and them, they were living on this side of the earth. Basically, they were free from the devil, okay, until Christopher Columbus and them came over here, okay, which really they landed in Hispaniola, but they were doing their thing over here, okay. But it was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi who were in captivity to the Romans, all right. First the Greeks, then the Romans, right? And the dragon stood before the woman, which is the Israelites, which was ready to be delivered. Okay, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now that child represents who? Yahweh Shai. Okay, that dragon at this time, who was the one that was mainly the propagator of this? Herod, the Edomite. Because the Herodians were Edomites trying to act like they were Israelites. Okay, so he was looking to devour Yahweh Shai as soon as he was born. Okay, you could read about that in Matthews and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, the majority of the people that were in Europe and things of that nature was the Southern Kingdom, and West Africa was the Southern Kingdom. But there was Northern Kingdom that was amongst us. It speaks about the tribe. Oh, that's the spirit. It speaks about the woman of the tribe of Asher. Okay, that was spoken about in the New Testament. So this is just showing you, and he's going into some great history. You should subscribe to his channel, Karimio Ahau. Okay, you can see it there, Karimio Ahau. He's going into some great information here. And he knows he's an Israelite, obviously, based upon this video. But it's going into these different tribes, and you see here some of the emblems, and you already know the wolf is Benjamin. Okay, so these are some of the coats of arms, man. All right, and I was looking up the coats of arms of the wolf and where it was at, and a lot of that was in Holland, Germany, and some in England. Which was a representation of what the tribe of Benjamin. So, anyways, and Judah was all over England. Judah, that line was predominant in England. But the line was also a lot of places as well. Okay, it's a very popular one. Ireland, Scotland. So, anyways, really, that's all I wanted to bring out. I just want to bring that out real quick because they're talking about this Edomite 12 tribe sign. Well, this is probably the reason why they say that they're linked to the Israelites, but this was not them. This was us. This was the so-called Negroes that were ruling Europe at this particular time. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.